Alright guys, I've got the two questions right here. The other one is prove the identity, the other one is solve without the use of the calculator, simply meaning that this one is for simplifying. And then I also got a third question after these two questions, which is right here. Then it says with the aid of diagram. Basically these three questions gives you sort of an all-rounder when it comes to trigonometry. What kind of questions will they be asking? So I urge you to stay on this video and watch this video until the end so that you can see what we're gonna do. I think the last question on course 108 is very interesting question, so I would like to go together with you on this one. So let's go back and deal with the first question, right? Okay, so the first question here says sine 140 times sine 360 minus and then cos 50 minus tan in brackets rather is said. So my tools that I normally use when I do questions like this one, this is what I use. I know that on this quadrant you've got this, you've got negative x, and you know that cos is positive, and then you have got that, which is a cast diagram. Then I know that here on the second one is 180 minus x. Here it's one on the third quadrant is 180 plus x. Therefore I also know that I've got 360 here minus x. And then the other thing that I know in addition when I'm doing questions like this one is that if I've got an angle like these ones here that is above 360, I must minus 360 minus or add 360 until we get it to below 360. Okay, so now let's go ahead and see here. 140, it's on which quadrant? 140 it's on the second quadrant. Therefore it means it is taken from sine 180 minus a certain angle will give us 140, so it's gonna be minus 40 here. Okay guys, and then therefore 360 minus x, it's on the fourth quadrant where sine is negative, so here we're going to have negative sine x all over. For now, because I don't know what to do with this one here, I'm just going to leave as it is because it's below 90, right? So therefore here we have got tan in brackets minus x, so we know that this is on the fourth quadrant where tan is negative, so this will give us negative tan x. Okay, so now what do we need again? So here it means at 180 minus what do we have? At 180 minus we have got sine 40, which is positive, times negative sine x all over. Right here guys, you can either do two things, or if you know that a sine it's a co-function of cos. So this is what I mean. If you've got a sine that has got an angle, for an example, which is 40, and then you've got a cos that's got an angle which is 50, if the addition of these angles gives you 90, it means they are co-functions of each other. You can therefore cancel each of them out, provided they add up to 90. So in this case we have got a sine and a cos which is adding up to 90. Therefore it means these two would cancel each other. However guys, you can change either of them. You can change this one here to 90 minus. You can say this should also be equal to sine 90 minus 40, right? Which is also going to give you cos rather. Some learners would prefer to do this first. Okay, so which will also give you the same thing as I'm doing here, right? So therefore what do we have here? We have got negative tan x, negative and negative would cancel out. What do we have at the top? We're going to have sine multiplied by cos x over sine, because now if you take tan from the bottom, you take the reciprocal of that. That's what is going to give you. Therefore sine and sine would cancel out. You're going to be left with cos x. Okay, so basically this is the only thing that I used to solve this equation. If you want to learn more on these tools that I'm using right here, please make sure that you watch our lesson video right here. At the end of this video, it will give you a link that will take you to a playlist that has got everything that you need on trigonometry. Right now I'm going to move to question 2. If you are new here, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, your cousin, your classmates, and everybody that needs this video to make sure that all of us, we do get level 7 or 6. Right, so now let's look at this identity. It says minus 2 sine squared theta plus cos theta plus 1 all over 1 minus cos 540 minus theta should be equals to 2 cos theta minus 1. So therefore I'm going to tell the examiner, or the person who's going to be marking this, I'm going to tell that person that I'm starting from the left hand side. So from the left hand side, where do we have here? Excuse me. All right, so now if you have a look at, guys, the answer here is in cos. So wherever there's a sign, I'm going to change that sign and make it a cos. So now this is what we have right here. Negative 2, if we change this sign, it's going to be 1 minus cos squared theta. You will remember this, guys, from that identity of sine squared x plus cos squared x should be equal to 1. So that's basically the one that I used. Okay, so here there's nothing we can do. We're just going to have cos theta plus 1 there. And then what do we have here? We have got 1. If you look at 540, it's on which quadrant? You can either have a look at it, or you can minus 30 from here, 360 rather, because what I said earlier, I said if it's more than that, we need to minus 360 from this one, so that we can make it smaller than 360. So which is basically what we're doing now. Then at the top there, I can remove the bracket. Let's remove the bracket at the top. Negative 2, we're gonna say this 2 and then multiply by that. Negative 2 times 1, negative 2 times, it's gonna be plus 2 cos squared theta, and then we have got 2 cos theta, and then therefore 2 cos theta, this looks like a 0, 2 cos theta plus 1. So we're done with the top all over. Now let me come here and say, now let's have a look. 540 minus 360 is giving us 180. 1 minus cos, so it means this is what we have, 180 minus theta. So now it's much better than it's easy to work with. 180 minus theta or minus x is on second quadrant, therefore this means this cos will be negative, right? So let's also simplify the top here. We have got negative 2 plus 1. So this gives us 2 cos squared theta plus cos theta, therefore minus 1. Therefore at the bottom 1 minus here is going to give us a negative cos theta. So negative times negative will give us what? Positive. Right. Great stuff. So if you ever look at the top, if you look at the top here, let's get a different color. Tatalento. We'll use a green color here. So we're gonna have 2x squared plus x minus 1. So if you have a look at this one, it's a trinomial, guys. So we're gonna have to solve this trinomial the best way we know how to do it, right? So if you have a look at this one, I think the positive will be the other way around. I swapped the sign. Positive will be here, negative will be that side. So that's how you would deal with the top part here in this case. So let's go ahead and continue here. I'm just going to keep the green color because we are factorizing. So it's going to be 2 cos theta, then cos theta here, then it's going to be plus 1 there, then it's going to be minus 1 here. So at the bottom it's 1 plus cos theta as we continue with the green color. Therefore 1 plus cos theta will cancel with 1 plus cos theta at the top. Therefore you are left with 2 cos theta minus 1, which is equal to the right hand side. Now you can get out of the exam smiling and happy, knowing very well that you managed to prove this identity. Now let's go to the next question, which is the last question on this video. Thank you for sticking around. If you're still watching, really appreciate. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not subscribed. I am Gaston Mapala, passionate about mathematics, doing my best to make sure that you've got all the tools that you need to make sure that you get that level 6 or level 7. Right, so now let's have a look at this one. It said with an aid of a diagram, we need to find tan 36 and also need to find cos 108. So let's go ahead and look at this one. with an aid of a diagram as we continue with the green color here. There you go. We know that they're giving us sine 36. So sine 36, it means here it's over 1. Even though they don't say it, this is one of the most trickiest thing that they use in grade 12 when they say use a diagram, right? So now you said it's going to be what? Opposite over hypotenuse. So it's going to be this one, and therefore opposite it's 1 square root of 1 minus k squared. Now, are we going to need the adjacent? Yes, we are going to need it. So we're going to use Pythagoras theorem to find this adjacent here. All right. So now it's equals to r squared. So we're looking for x. Therefore, we're going to have to say r squared minus y squared. Okay. So now r is 1 squared minus here we're gonna have a square root because I didn't. Yes, we're gonna have a square root there. So here we're gonna have in brackets square root of 1 minus k squared all squared. So we're gonna have 1 minus, if you square that, you're gonna be left with 1 minus k squared. Therefore we're going to have 1 minus 1 plus k squared. Now I forgot the square root again. Sorry about that, guys. So everything here needs to be squared. It's a bit tedious. I'm running out of a page here. So x will therefore be equal to square root of k squared, which is going to just give us k. So therefore our x here is going to be k. Great stuff. So now let's come here and have a look at an a. It says what? Tan 36. Tan 36 is going to be what? Opposite over adjacent. So we know what is opposite is the square root of 1 minus k squared over adjacent, which is k, the one we just calculated now. Right now, here's a b. It says now cos 108. Now this one, if you ever look at it, it means that there is somehow there is a cos, there is a what, there is a in between somehow ne? So if you take 36 multiplied by 2, is going to give you what? Is going to give you 72. All right. Okay, so now if you have a look at this one, if you try to break it down, guys, if you try to break this thing down, if you have a look at it, is going to give you, if you come here and say, okay, this one is on which quadrant? Where is 108 sitting? 108 is sitting here on the second quadrant, where you're going to have 180 minus 72, which will give you 108. So now this will give you negative cos 72. Right, I hope you guys are following. So basically what I did here, it is still correct. I did nothing wrong. However, now if you look at 72, in this case 72 can also be rewritten as follows. You can write 72 as 2 times what? 36. Great, amazing. So if you guys are still following, there's many ways where you can solve this, but however, I'm just choosing this way to do it. Let me know in the comment section below if you used different methods, because I know immediately when you're here, you can say 75 can be this angle here, and then you can do it the other way around, and therefore, and all these other things. Okay, so now let me know, well, how did you guys deal with this one when you get to this point? How did you do it? Right, there's many ways you can change it. So me already here, I can see that this looks like this identity that we used earlier, which is equal to 2 cos squared x minus 1. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that one there. I'm gonna go ahead and use this identity here. I already have a negative 2 there, so I must be careful not to throw this negative away. So I'm going to change this into 2 cos squared 36 here minus 1. Okay, if I can take out the negative here, it's fine, no problem, right? But I know what is cos 36. Okay, so minus 2. Okay, and then cos 36, guys, I'm just going to put it here as cos 36 is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse, which is equals to k over hypotenuse, which is equals to 1 all squared. Okay, does it make sense? Yeah, it does. Minus 1 all in bracket. So now this is what I have. Now I have got k squared, so I'm gonna have negative outside here. We're gonna have 2k squared, therefore minus 1, then multiply throughout by a negative is going to be negative 2k squared plus 1. And this is how you deal with a question like this one, guys. Very interesting question indeed. Let me know, just let me know on the comment section, how did you deal with this part? Because even here when I got on this point here, I could have changed this to 1 minus 2 sine squared x. I could have also used this, but I know the answer would have still be the same anyways. So let me know which method have you used. I am Gaston Mapala. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video until the end. Let me see you on the next video where we'll be doing more of mathematics.